Good day, my viewers. Today, we have a video that is a true-to-life story. A story about Gurung tribesmen in Nepal whose lifestyle is at risk because of ways they hunt honey. Are you ready to know their way of hunting honey? Let's go. The Gurung tribespeople of Nepal have been collecting honey from Himalayan cliffs for centuries, but now their lifestyle is under threat from commercialization and tours offering visitors a chance to join a honey hunt. Photographer Andrew Nui spent 2 weeks living with the Gurung in central Nepal, documenting the risks and skills involved in this dying tradition. The Gurung tribesmen of Nepal are master honey hunters, risking their life collecting honeycomb in the foothills of the Himalayas using nothing more than handmade rope ladders and long sticks known as tangos. Most of the honeybees' nests are located on steep, inaccessible southwest-facing cliff to avoid predators and for increased exposure to direct sunlight. In December 2013, photographer Andrew Nui spent 2 weeks living with the Gurung in a remote hilltop village in central Nepal's Koski district, joining the 3-day autumn honey hunt, which was 6 weeks later than normal due to a changing climate and reduced bee population. Before involved sacrificing a sheep, offering flowers, fruits and rice, and praying to the cliff gods to ensure a safe hunt. A honey hunter clings precariously to a rope ladder while he waits for the rising smoke to drive thousands of angry Apis laboriosa, the largest honeybee in the world, out of their nests. Despite this being a team effort, up to a dozen men are drafted in to support a hunter or kuchi. There is silence, pressure, and precision. Engulfed by the thick, acrid smoke, the hunter jousts tentatively at a nest with a bamboo stick with a sickle or wooden plate at one end, cutting the exposed honeycomb away from the cliff face. Using another stick to guide the basket hanging beside him, he catches the honeycomb as it falls before the basket is then lowered to the ground. One major threat to traditional, responsible honey hunting comes from the growing medicinal reputation of Himalayan honey, which is increasingly exported for use in Japanese, Chinese, and Korean traditional medicines, and to treat infections and injuries. Spring red honey is the most sought after, costing upwards of $15 per kilogram. This demand has resulted in a shift in ownership of the cliffs away from the indigenous communities to the government, allowing them to open honey harvesting right to contractors. At the same time, the younger generation's reluctance to follow in the footsteps of their elders, due to the risks involved, limited income, and moving away to cities, is also contributing to the dwindling numbers of traditional honey hunter. One of the Gurung men watches from the base of the cliff as the cutter repositions himself on the rope ladder 200 feet above. An influx of tourists trekking the world-famous Annapurna circuit has manipulated interest among trekking agencies and organizing stage honey hunting events in areas such as Gandruk, Manong, and Lamyang. They charged us $2,501 for one honey hunting event, very little of which is paid to the indigenous communities. Honey hunters are tempted by the short-term financial benefits to harvest outside of the normal season, with tourists using climbing gear to accompany them, damaging the cliff face and nesting sites in the process. As the honey hunter descends the rope ladder, the blood, blisters and bee stings that are synonymous with this treacherous tradition became visible. After a 3-hour trek back up to the village carrying approximately 20 kilograms of honey, this hunter enjoyed a hard-earned piece of honeycomb by the fire. The honey is divided up among the villagers, and one of the first uses is for a cup of honey tea. Nui arranged to visit a honey hunting site well away from the popular Annapurna circuit. Despite this, he was frequently asked by the hunters how he had found out when and where the hunt would take place. Because these are responsible hunters, they were concerned about their cliffs suffering from this unwanted tourist activity if the location was disclosed. With funding from the Austrian government, the International Center for Integrated Mountain Development ICEMOD is addressing problems arising from commercialization of honey hunting and the impact of tourism through the Himalayan Honeybees Project. coordinator of the project aimed to work with traditional honey hooters to preserve their sustainable harvesting techniques. They also hope to find an effective way of regulating harvests by only licensing those with proven knowledge and experience, limiting the numbers of nests harvested, and implementing a system of fines and punishment. The overall aim is to help communities reap financial benefit from an indigenous resource while preserving a bee species that will ensure the pollination of crops and maintenance of plant biodiversity in the long term. That's for today. Thank you, my viewers. See you to our next episode. Stay safe and God bless.